Welcome back to Daytime Ottawa. Back to tell you how you can give back to those in need in our community through the Shepherds of Good Hope Foundation. And of course, we all know about the Shepherds of Good Hope, but we love to have them on the show as often as possible. I'm joined by Deirdre. She is the president and CEO of Shepherds of Good Hope and the foundation. Deirdre, welcome to the show. Great to have you here. And, a time of year when we see that you're in most need. Let's first of all talk about the foundation itself and how it helps support Shepherds of Good Hope.
The foundation, Derek, is our fundraising department at Shepherds of Good Hope, and so they raise funds to support the needs of the organization for programs and services for people who are exiting homelessness, who are currently homeless and looking for new homes, and also to help support our supportive housing residences across the city, because we know that keeping people in shelters is not what we want to do. We want to give people a permanent home, and we're providing that type of housing across the city as well. So that's what the foundation helps us with, and we've got wonderful donors and partners in the community who help us do that.
Well, and Deirdre, speaking of homes, let's talk about the Richcraft Hope residence. This is the first Christmas for the Richcraft Hope residence. Must be pretty exciting times around there at the moment.
It's very exciting. It's our newest supportive housing residence. It's 42 units. So just a few short months ago, 42 people who now have homes in Richcraft Hope residence were experiencing homelessness and living in a shelter and had been there for quite some time. So to see the difference in people when they're able to have, a safe place to go, a lock on their door, their own shower, their own bed, and then having the supports around them to help them in the recovery, we see the difference every day. And so housing is absolutely the answer.
Before we get to the needs around this season, especially, as the cold winter months are ahead of us now, let's talk about monetary donations and why they're so important and how you can use them so much better.
Sure. So monetary donations are really important to us, as they are to so many charities, especially at this time of year. We can stretch those dollars by bulk purchasing. So whether it's for groceries or toiletries or the needs of residents both in the supportive housing and service users in the shelter, that's how we can make our dollar stretch farther, because we have relationships with companies where we can bulk buy. So when people donate to us, we're able to stretch that dollar that much further, and it's so needed and so welcome.
We just brought up a list of some of those most needed items, but go through some of highlight some of the most needed items at this time of year for you.
Sure. At this time of year, it's always hats, mittens, socks, warm socks for people who are spending a lot of time outdoors in the cold weather. Certainly toiletries is something that we can always use. So things like shampoos, disposable razors, those kinds of things are really helpful for people, so that when they come into the shelter or into supportive housing, that we can meet those needs as well. So those types of things always at this time of year are really, really helpful.
You're also asking the community to get creative and create some cards or perhaps some crafts. Tell us the inspiration behind this and how it helps.
Well, we love to involve people at all ages. We know that, homelessness can happen to anyone depending on their circumstances. There's so many reasons why people end up experiencing homelessness. And so when we get a note from people to say we're thinking of you, especially at this time of year that can be very lonely and difficult for a lot of people, one of the ways that people can involve their children is to write cards, Christmas cards, and just say, we're thinking of you. And that goes a long way. And we've had that every year where people come in. A lot of school kids will do it, families will do it. And just giving a warm message to people to say, we're thinking of you. And that is just lifts people's spirits at this time of the year. And when we put them up in the programs, and we put them up on the walls, and people can pop by in the soup kitchen and just read a nice message from people in the community, and it really lifts their spirits at this time of year.
Deirdre, at this time of year, a lot of organizations and foundations and charities, they have volunteer opportunities, and some don't, because it's a time of year when many people come to volunteer, and they are encouraged to sort of follow up in the new year. What about at the Shepherds of Good Hope as far as volunteer opportunities? What's available?
We have a lot of volunteer opportunities available, Derek. We have, right now, we actually have a need for people to come and help, work in the soup kitchen with us to help out chopping food, helping make meals. We serve 4 meals a day still We're serving about, or 4 times a day, we're serving about 800 meals a day right now. So it takes a lot of people to put those meals together, and we can always use volunteers there. We talk about time, talent, and treasure a lot, so offering your time is really valuable as a volunteer to us. We have lots of opportunities for that. We had a gentleman come in this week, and he's a barber, and he cut hair. And just to see people, get excited about something that we take for granted is beautiful. So you can volunteer your time, you can volunteer your talents, and then you can also volunteer your treasure.
Excellent. Deirdre, thank you so much for joining us today, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you.
Thanks so much, Derek. Merry Christmas to you as well.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
By the way, that website, sghottawa.com, to make a donation. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Daytime after this.